What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So you saw the title and the thumbnail. Now we are talking about 10 very specific men's fragrances, ones that I believe to be modern classics. Some represent their entire line, some it's specifically that particular fragrance and flanker that I think kind of defines what makes it a modern classic. These have all had different impacts, spawned entire fragrance lines that have been successful for many years now, and so on. But these are all fragrances that I think at some point everybody getting into this space should experience, because sometimes the classics are all you need. And I don't mean classics like 90s, 80s, 70s. We're talking modern classics. We're talking 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s even. I didn't look. I don't think anything came out in 2020. Plus that we're talking here, but the last 2 decades for sure. So let's dive into these 10. Stay tuned. Quintessential date night that I just recently picked up because I had the Eau de Toilette, the original, for so long, and they are really close to one another in scent profile. This is truly an Eau de Parfum flanker to it. No, it is the better version. You know, I didn't feel like I needed both, but I finally have a bottle of the Eau de Parfum of Dolce & Gabbana, the one, and this is a men's quintessential, like, standardized date night fragrance. When in doubt, this ambery sweet tobacco fragrance will do the trick. It's still enjoyable to wear to this day. Average performer-ish, even as an eau de parfum. Man, it just smells so good. When it comes to date night designer fragrances, this kind of set us down the path of really making those warm, sweet fragrances with a little bit of spice kind of the standard. You can kind of blame Dolce & Gabbana the one for some of that. Maybe not all of the heat would go to it for those of you that don't like the sweet fragrances. But for those of you that do, such as myself, and my wife enjoys when I wear the sweet fragrances, this is one of the culprits. I want to say like '08 or something like that this originally came out. I don't remember specifically. Something like that. It's been many a moons since the original Eau de Toilette came out, and this has spawned an entire fragrance line. They've had Middle Eastern exclusives. They had 3 of them that came out. It's a really, really good fragrance. At the end of the day, if you're going to dinner, first date, established relationship, doesn't matter. Dolce & Gabbana the one EDP, it always works. Everybody should give it a try, in my opinion. At least in the online community, it's kind of the designer iris fragrance that made iris fragrances cool, where Dior Homme redefined the modern men's floral fragrance with the with lipsticky iris and everything. I think Prada L'homme made it cool. This was the one that really got the hype. This is the one that, just blew up. It's, soapy iris, because Prada does soapy so well, with spices like pepper and cardamom. It's got great performance. It's well-rounded. It's not too feminine leaning for being based around iris. And being so powdery, God, it's so good. It's soapy, clean, fresh, spicy, powdery, a little warm, very clean fragrance. Dapper, if you will, dresses up very, very well. You can wear it casually, of course, but this is one that's semi-casual on up. I mean, you can't go wrong. And it spawned several incredible flankers. The L'eau flanker with the light blue backing, the one that adds ginger and freshens things up a little bit, is my personal favorite. They've had an absolute flanker, a water splash flanker, which is actually very fresh, similar to the L'eau flanker. And then, of course, Prada L'homme Intense, the famed leather patchouli take on this, the darker, heavier, more cooler weather-oriented version that's another hype beast in itself beyond this one. But I think this is one that everybody should try. This is actually the first modern iris fragrance for men that I tried. I just bought off the hype, fell in love, and then went to exploring beyond with other designer and niche level irises, more natural iris fragrances, to experience the earthy side of iris and so on. Just iris is my favorite note to this day because of it, but this is the one that sparked it for me, and I know for so many others. Very quintessential. It's definitely a modern classic in my mind. It is Prada L'homme. You'll notice the lighting is different. I just realized I forgot to put some of my lights on. So obviously the lighting has drastically changed quite a bit. I just realized I look a little dark in the playback on the camera. Anyways, so what I deem to be a modern men's classic, it spawned flankers. It spawned a flanker that was so good it spawned its own set of flankers. But Yves Saint Laurent L'homme, YSL L'homme, ginger, citruses, and woods, little bit of spices, hint of green, very classy, but still casual. This is one you can wear every day. People will complain about performance with newer bottles. You know, if you don't mind respraying, this is still a phenomenal fragrance to have. It just smells, it's so good. It really is. It's a woody ginger aromatic fragrance is the best way I could describe it in its simplest form. This works every day of your life. You can wear this fragrance for legitimately everything. You can wear this to dinner just like you could wear this to work, whether you have an office type setting job or you're working outdoors, retail, whatever, casually. Of course, it works perfectly fine. You could literally do everything with this fragrance. It is phenomenal. Again, performance might leave a little bit to be desired with some. You know, it's like a 4 or 5 hour fragrance in longevity for me personally, which isn't, I don't think, as terrible as some people make it out to be. But to each their own, everybody's different. I strongly encourage you to try this. I encourage you to definitely, if you like it and you have the ability to keep it with you, if you're going to need more than just a few hours out of a fragrance, respray. No big deal. Because the fragrance is that good. I think this is totally worth having in someone's collection. Definitely worth trying to understand some of the modern men's perfumery and the routes that kind of, you know, the fragrances that kind of set us down the paths and took certain routes for these fragrance lines that we're dealing with today. Because this came out in the 2000s, from what I remember. Maybe closer to 2010, but something like that. In that era, kind of in the realm of when Dolce & Gabbana the One came out, this was kind of in that era as well. This is a phenomenal fragrance that to this day I think deserves respect and still worth trying. It's YSL L'homme, the original. Now I did mention YSL L'homme spawned a flanker that became so popular it spawned its own flankers. One of the biggest hype beasts of all time in the online fragrance community, Yves Saint Laurent, La Nuit de l'homme. It'll be rough to get this one to focus, I think. Anyways. See if we can pull the old double hand trick. There we go. That did it. Yves Saint Laurent L'homme. This is a 2018 bottle, so notice the juice isn't super dark. One that got the famed reformulation bug, and people gripe. And look, I still get really good performance out of this. And this is not the super dark orange juice, orange colored juice that the old like 2014, 2015 Grail batches that were just crazy performers, beasts. Because, you know, I'm fine with 6-7 hours that I get out of this. I've always gotten like 7 hours. Because what dates are you going on that you need 12, 13 fucking hours of longevity out of your fragrance? I've always found that completely ridiculous. That if you wear this in its ideal setting, which is going on a date, it's the ideal setting for this. This is why it became so popular. It's great for that. It's powdery, warm, spicy cardamom, lavender, aromatic. Beautiful fragrance. Super, super sexy, attractive kind of stuff, right? The fuck dates are you going on that you need 10, 12, 8 hours even? I've clocked it at between 6 and 8 hours many times. Sometimes I don't even get to clock it to that because if I'm spraying it on at 7 o'clock and I'm taking a shower before bed at 10 or 11 o'clock, I'm not clocking it 7 or 8 hours. See what I'm saying? So I've always found it kind of ridiculous that fragrances that people specifically wear to dinner, they want to be monster performers, like trying to like scare the girl off, you know, because some women don't like you to bathe in cologne, and that's what a beast will do for you in a first date. Pro tip, just throwing that out there. But I don't care what anybody says, this stuff still smells incredible to this day. The way it's so powdery yet so warm, cozy, and just charismatic. It's beautiful, nice and spicy. The way cardamom's done here, kind of defined using cardamom excessively in designer fragrances for many, many years following. What a great fragrance. Deserves the respect. Modern classic, in my opinion. Still good. Still good. Again, from Yves Saint Laurent, we have La Nuit de l'homme. The fragrance that I think made designer leather fragrances cool. You know, leather fragrances isn't some new thing when this came around, but you know, they put it in the signature line. It was originally released in a private blend. It was kind of a little brother to Tuscan leather in many ways, but I like it more than Tuscan leather. It's time for it. Ombre leather. Spicy, edgy, a little bit animalic, hint of floral, a little bit of sweetness here. Doesn't have all that fruitiness of Tuscan leather, which is quite nice, the raspberry note, but a little different. Definitely has a slightly more casual appeal than Tuscan leather. I feel like Tuscan leather is a more refined, more upscale leather fragrance. It dresses up really well, which this still dresses up really well, but I think this has more of that semi-casual, semi-formal kind of feel to it, where it dresses down a bit better than something like Tuscan leather. Another great performer. Awesome in the cooler weather, both day and night. Date nights. If you like wearing leather fragrances to work, of course, here you go. This is just beautiful, high compliment factor kind of stuff. I think for a leather fragrance, it offers a decent level of versatility. I really do. Modern classic, easily. We've got a couple of flankers out of it that are really good, but I think if you're going to get one, the original EDP is definitely the one to get. The nice, clean, sleek black bottle would definitely be the one. I don't think too many people would disagree with me on this being a modern classic. It's Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Everybody needs a great freshie in their collection, and I think the greatest freshie of all time, I really do feel this way, is Versace Man Eau Fraiche. This is my little 30 ml bottle. Love the bottle, super iconic bottle. We recently got an Extreme that strips away the starfruit note, that sour citrus, and adds a fresh orange blossom smell. The new Extreme is actually quite nice, I think. Still smells like this minus the starfruit. Literally just take that away and add orange blossom and ramp up performance. But at the end of the day, citrusy, watery, aquatic, clean and musky. It's a little bit of fresh and spicy smell kind of hovering in the background. High compliment factor. Just beautiful fragrance. It really is. This, everybody should have this at some point. This could be that one freshie in your collection. That one bright, fresh, super watery fragrance that you just, when you want something refreshing, you go with this. Again, I don't think you can do wrong with Versace Man Eau Fraiche. I think it's the best Versace fragrance they ever put out for men, personally. And that's coming off of Versace Pour Homme, Versace Dylan Blue, the Eros line, all the things, right? That some people would disagree. Oh, I'm an Eros guy, or no, I'm a Dylan Blue. Dylan Blue's so much better. Oh, the original Versace L'homme. How could you not mention that smells like 1975 fragrance? You know, I don't care for Versace L'homme. This is the one. Firmly believe that. Strong support on my end. I've recommended it many times over the years and many fragrances that smell like it. But at the end of the day, the best of the bunch is the original, a modern classic that everyone, I truly believe everybody should own this at some point. Versace Man Eau Fraiche. Now, Jean-Paul Gaultier has flankered Le Male to death. They have, over the years. Since the 90s, Le Male's an all-time great classic. But we're not talking about Le Male. We're talking about a flanker. I think this one kind of defines the modern generation really well. We talked about Iris a bit, and where Prada L'homme is a do-it-all, daily wear, professional, clean Iris fragrance. I think one that kind of defines what makes a phenomenal evening wear, date night Iris designer fragrance. I think Le Male Le Parfum is a great, actually phenomenal representation, because you have so many that'll categorize with it. Your Armani Code parfums, your Dior Homme Intenses, Givenchy Gentleman EDP, and several of its flankers, and Valentino Uomo Intense, and the list goes on and on and on. Blue Noir Parfum from Narciso Rodriguez. Goes on and on. I think this is a great stand in front of the line, in front of the pile kind of fragrance that represents what makes a perfectly balanced, warm, spicy, ambery, powdery iris fragrance to wear to dinner that will get compliments, that performs really well, that's not super expensive, but also not some cheap-ass fragrance. They're still going to spend $80, $90 range easily on a 75 ml of this, let alone a 4.2, 125 ml. It's just really, really good. It's really, really good. It balances out the, that charismatic enigma type of feel of being the guy wearing the powdery fragrance that's also got the spicy cardamom and the warm amber. This aromatic bright green feel to it as well. A little bit of woods. Not a really musky fragrance by any means. But damn, that's good. Damn, that is good, And I think a lot of people that made it to this point in the video will agree that it's a great representation of a dinner date night out iris fragrance. I think all the other ones I listed could have went here, but I think this one is more of a modern classic than those even are. When we're talking evenings out, designer iris, I think Le Male Le Parfum, modern classic. Hyped to ever-living shit. I got to give the devil its due when it comes to this particular fragrance, because it's the most popular one, even though I think it's far from the best Spicebomb. Talking Spicebomb Extreme. you know? All it takes is a good-looking chick to tell you that it's incredible. And now it's a hype monster, right? Shout outs to Michelle. Michelle made this thing super over-the-top crazy popular. It was already popular before Michelle started making content. It's wild. Shout outs to Michelle. For those who don't know who Michelle is, curly fragrance. But yeah, she really ran with this one in the early days of her content, right? So, spicy, tobacco, sweet vanilla. It is a great evening out fragrance. It really is. Very, very cozy. I still wanted to give the original the love here, the original Spicebomb, but I think it just, the modern classic, again, designing, as far as spicy, sweet designer fragrances, this one kind of helps define the current generation we're in with those types of fragrances. And like I said, super, super hype monster that to this day still gets a lot of love, still gets a lot of hype, and look deserving of it. I prefer the infrareds, both the Spicebomb infrareds more than this. The new metallic musk, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. Again, throw some respect on the original's name. The whole line's good. Both Night Visions I quite enjoy. The Discontinued Fresh, I think, it's the best one they've ever done. And so on. Dark Leather, pretty good. Just not the best performer. They've never put out a bad Spicebomb, in my opinion. But when it comes to getting love, this one is it. When it comes to defining a style, this is one of the poster children, right? So, hey, modern classic. Call it like I see it. Viktor and Rolf, Spicebomb Extreme. You can't deny it. As much as you may hate it, as much as you may love it, you can't deny it. The impact. I had to go with the original Eau de Toilette here, even though it's not my favorite. The Parfum is my favorite. And we've got, counting the cool spray, we've got EDT, EDP, Parfum, Elixir, Eau Fort, and Cool Spray. We've had 6 versions of Sauvage at this point. The original one's still the one. Oh, man, wife loves the hell out of this, too. And look, I love Sauvage. I've never had an issue with Sauvage. I like wearing Sauvage. I go back to it several times throughout the year, every year. You can wear this for anything. Metallic, spicy, citrusy, a little sweet, very shower gel-like feel. Not the most natural smell. Great performance. High compliment factor. The average person loves the way this smells. The perfume enthusiast kind of turns their nose up at it at this point. But even the snobby perfume enthusiast can't deny the impact. They may hate the path this fragrance put us on with Ambroxan, because this is the most famous of the Ambroxan fragrances, which I like Ambroxan. I always have. I like it. Smells good, smells good. Smells good, smells good. That's just a simple way to live by with me. Fragrance costs $10. Does it smell good? All right, then it just smells good. Fragrance costs $1,000. Does it smell good? All right, it just smells good. That's kind of my motto. This just smells good. Performs really well. Highly versatile. High compliment factor. Checks every box for a lot of people. This is this generation's Aqua de Jo. This is this generation's Cool Water. This is this generation's Dior Fahrenheit. It just is. It just is. It is a modern classic. It will go down as an all-time great. And I think it's already there. Dior Sauvage. Everybody's got their favorite. Bleu de Chanel from Chanel. Mine's the Parfum. Yes, I have a sample of the L'Exclusif. Maybe one day I'll grab it. I just don't deem it worthy of the money, because I like this one so much. Actually, this is all I need. I like the EDP. Never felt like I needed it. I like the EDT. Not as much as I like the EDP and the Parfum. I don't think I'd ever buy the EDT. I wouldn't mind having a bottle of the Eau de Parfum, though. I have several that smell like it, so it's kind of redundant. But this is a warmer wood version, not as loud, of the DNA. Whereas the new L'Exclusif, it adds smokier, more resinous, darker elements. It intensifies the performance greatly. Cranks up the price point as well. You know, it's a phenomenal fragrance. The new L'Exclusif is phenomenal. It's just hard to swallow a pill on $275 for a Bleu de Chanel flanker, you know. But this is $200 these days. This was $150 back in 2018 when I bought it, 2019, whatever it was. Prices just went up over the years. This used to be retail $150, this 100 ml, back when I bought it. So yay me. But a little bit of lemon citrus, warm woods, tones back that smokiness. Very professional, smooth feel. Definitely, I've always looked at it as kind of big boys Bleu de Chanel, because you can totally rock this one with a suit and tie. I think it's highly versatile. It is my favorite blue fragrance ever. Just is. It's my favorite blue fragrance. And yeah, Bleu de Chanel, definitely a modern classic. All-time great, just like I was saying about Sauvage. Love it or hate it, Bleu de Chanel, all-time great. It's already that. It's etched in the annals of time for men's perfumery. Will we get another flanker one day? Maybe. It depends. It depends. Maybe that one will be $450 by that point. Because Chanel, 2018, 2025. 7-year gap between flankers. Not a bad thing. Smart. Let your prestige run. I get it. Chanel's a prestige brand, and they treat it as such. Trust me, with their pricing. But this is still the one for me. I kind of saved the most modern classic of the bunch, in my opinion, for last. Just specifically as a representation of its line as a whole, by showcasing my personal favorite one of the bunch. But I mean Bleu de Chanel as a whole. If you're talking EDT, fresh citruses, a little bit of smoke, soft woods, not really all that spicy. You go to the EDP, it enhances the incense a little bit more. It enhances the woodiness a little bit more without losing that citrusy freshness. You add a little bit more, a little touch of spice to it at that point. Here you go to warm woods. Kind of takes away the incense, I find anyways. It's very warm, woodsy, aromatic with a little bit of the citrus. You start losing the citrus. And then you go to the L'Exclusif. It's much darker, more resinous. Again, amplifies the smokiness heavily. You still lose some of that citrus, but it's still a woody aromatic at its core with much more resinous tones to it. And the strongest performer of the bunch. So there's a Bleu de Chanel for everyone. And for me, it's the Parfum. Well, that was the 10. We could have did more than 10 for sure, but that's the 10 that I gathered that I felt were worthy of discussing for the topic. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have links down below in the description through YouTube Shopping Network, as well as next to the fragrance names with other places like Fragflex and so on. If you're interested in doing some shopping, of course, you don't have to buy anything to watch these videos. I just appreciate you checking out the video. Make sure to like and subscribe before you leave. We'll see you on the next one.